Why do we suffer? Why is there suffering in the world? Why do we constantly experience negative emotions? Why do these seemingly bad things happen to us? Why do we have bad days, even bad weeks or longer periods of time? Why does life seem so hard and so heavy so often? Why do we feel hopeless at times? Let's embark on a journey that has the potential to change our perspective on suffering and life itself. Let's make ourselves comfortable and create a space within to fully embrace this experience in the present moment. Feel free to close your eyes and open your heart to the lessons that lie ahead. Are you ready? Let's begin by considering the experience of suffering itself. It encompasses a sense of dissatisfaction with what is happening in our lives, a profound discomfort with the present moment. But let's pause and ask ourselves, who is it that dislikes or finds discomfort in what is unfolding? Where does this notion originate from? While the experience of suffering can weigh heavily upon us, we must inquire into the core of this burden and its origin. Where is this heavy experience of suffering coming from? Who or what is weighing this burden on us? Just like any thought that arises, the thought of disliking the present moment or the concept of suffering itself is created within the mind. It doesn't originate anywhere else in our bodies. Does your leg come up with the idea that you are suffering? Is your arm intelligent enough to form opinions on life and conclude that suffering exists? Ask yourself, what part of your body can come up with such thoughts? This entire notion of dislike is constructed by the mind based on its expectations, understanding, and judgments. Let this sink in. This experience of difficulty is coming from nowhere else but the mind. It's not the situation that causes suffering, but the mind's judgment of the situation that does it. But you might argue that the body does experience discomfort and heaviness. Isn't that suffering? Yet once again we must question, where does this judgment of discomfort come from? Who measures the so-called heaviness of the body and determines whether it falls under the realm of suffering or not? The answer is the mind. Undeniably, the state of our bodies undergoes changes. It continually fluctuates. Sometimes it gets really heavy, and at other times it's as light as a feather. However, these changes are perceived by the mind, which then creates the idea of discomfort and suffering. So all suffering just exists in the mind. Note that this is not just a play of words, but the truth itself, the concealed illusion that is the cause of most of the suffering that we experience on an everyday basis. To truly grasp the nature of what is unfolding, we need to connect with the reality of our true selves. Ask yourself, who are you? While the mind may try to persuade us that we are the mind, let us endeavor to see beyond the illusion created by the mind, and observe the vastness of our human experience, an experience that transcends the limitations and constraints imposed by the mind. You are not merely a physical network of neurons and chemical compounds constituting the mind. You are not a physical assembly of tissues and molecules suspended in liquid. You are not an arrangement of muscles and bones. You are not something physical. You have an energetic existence much further than the physical. Can you feel this distinction? For the physical cannot feel. Can you fathom the expansiveness of your experience? Close your eyes and attempt to perceive the depths of your being. Can you pinpoint with certainty where your existence starts and ends? Can you locate the boundaries? Or are you an essence of life that knows no limits, a boundless entity? Of course, you are not these words either, for words cannot describe you. You are the experience of really feeling these words to the depths of your being. Imagine yourself as the entirety of space that stretches across the sky and the universe. You are all of it. You feel that, right? Meanwhile, the physical mind is merely a tiny physical organ residing somewhere within the infinite space that you are. The mind may revolt to this statement and understanding. But let this objection from the mind dissolve. Really feel the vastness of your true nature, the expansive sky, the limitless space. Your experience is beyond any limits. And this is not merely wordplay. This is true by default for all human beings. Our being is a limitless energetic presence that we can only feel within. It cannot be described through any words. It can just be felt by you right now. When we view our everyday experiences through the lens of the physical mind, we encounter the so-called suffering. However, when we connect with the vastness of our being and tap into the depths of our energetic existence, this apparent suffering, or the mind's limited experience, simply dissolves. And this is precisely the answer to the fundamental question that prompted this discussion, the why of suffering. It is meant to guide us, to allow us to experience our true nature, our infinite existence, and dissolve the illusory dominance of the mind. This is the essence of it all, to perceive the mind for what it truly is, to experience yourself as you are beyond the confines of the mind, and to be free, be truly free. Sure, I know that suffering feels so heavy and it sucks, but that's because we are used to living as the experience of the mind. Once you see this, suffering becomes a blessing in disguise. It introduces us to who we really are only if we are willing to see. And my dear listeners, this is what this audio is guiding you to do as you journey through life and encounter changes that the mind perceives as discomfort or suffering. Remember to separate yourself from the mind's experience. See yourself as who you are and the mind for what it is. I know I am repeating myself, but that is for the message to really sink in, conquering the objections presented by the mind. Embrace the present moment from the expansiveness of your pure, beautiful, and loving nature. Allow the unfolding of each experience within your awareness. Look upon your mind and body with love and compassion. Endeavor to nurture and care for them with the infinite wellspring of positive energy that you possess. Let the light of your awareness dissolve any apparent negative experiences of the mind and body. Allow the radiant light of compassion and love emanating from within you to envelop your physical body, bringing it comfort and ease. As I speak these words, I hold a warm and comforting space for each and every individual who listens to this narration. Together, may we all blossom in the expansive light of our being and gracefully navigate this journey called life.